Hello, welcome to Smart Bites. Today I will be factoring using the difference of squares. So, I'm just going to put something on your plate a little bit different. You may not have seen this before, but just to remind you that we can treat this guy as a variable. Doesn't matter what variable it is, really. Well, let's go ahead and factor this using the difference of squares method. Okay, so we got smiley face to the fourth power minus 16. Well, I can rewrite smiley face as smiley face squared. Square that minus what squared will give you 16? Well, 4. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go a little bit further. I can write this now using the difference of squares, and I can say smiley face squared minus 4 smiley face times smiley face squared plus 4. So, are we done? No, not yet. Not really, right? Because this is also the difference of squares. This is something a little bit different. We won't be doing that right here, right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to continue to factor it. And this can be written as smiley face. If you remember, there's something, I did this in my previous video, but if you have a squared minus b squared, the same as a plus b, a minus b. Alright, so if that's the case here, well then we just keep on going here. We can say smiley face minus 2 smiley face plus 2, and then also of course this times smiley face squared plus 4. Okay, so this would be our final answer. So even though we have a weird looking variable, it really doesn't matter what we call it. In this case we said smiley face. It could be anything. It could be Shrek if we wanted it to be, you know. But there's a nice simple example. Let me think of something a little different. Let's see. Let's factor a trinomial. We have let's just do this other binomial. 3x squared minus 48. Alright, so here we have once again the difference of squares. The first thing I see is they both have a common factor. If I factor out a 3 out of both of these here, if I factor out a 3 into this one, you'll just have x squared left over. And then if we're like, well, what if we factor out a 3 out of that? Well, we just go back and we just say, okay, well, 48 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4 once. We bring down the 8, and then 3 goes into 18 6 times, well, 16. So if we factor out 3 into this one, we have 16. And then if you don't see it at this point, you know, you gotta just think, well, can I square anything? What squared will give me x squared, and what squared will give me 16? Well, in this case, it's a pretty clean answer. Here on the outside, we have 3, and then I'm gonna rewrite this. Actually, I'm gonna rewrite this as x squared minus 4 squared, just so we can get a better look at what's a and what's b. And then I'm going to continue by 3 times, and then x plus 4, or actually I can say x, doesn't matter, x plus 4, x minus 4, it doesn't really matter what order we put it in. And so I guess the first step that I always do is I think, okay, is there a greatest common factor? Can I factor something out of this? Well, I did. I factored out of 3, and that made it easier for me to see what's going on. And sometimes you'll have an unusually large number right here, or in this case we had this larger number. It wasn't too hard, but you know, if you ever have any doubts, just feel free to go back to arithmetic and use some old skills that you learned back in the day, and just dig in your toolbox, and you'll find something. And in this case, it ended up being something very easy to see. X squared minus 16 is a very common difference of squares, and then we just keep on going here. Now, if we were to actually multiply these together, there's no doubt in my mind that we would actually get what we came up with. So during math tests, if you ever have time, always go back and always check to make sure that when you multiply these two together, you'll actually get this, because it's so easy to mess up. But I think that's it for this session. I'll do a couple more factoring binomials and trinomials, and maybe I'll do some other factoring methods. Thanks again for visiting me on Smart Bites. I'll see you soon.